Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Rules Horror. Story 1. You're in your fake house. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. If you're reading this, you're in the fake house. Don't wonder how this note got here, all you need to know is to just follow these rules. I don't know how you got here, but you probably slept and were unlucky enough to teleport here. I care about your safety like you are worried about yours too, and I know you're scared, so always follow these rules. No matter what. I'll organize them by sections. Most important rules. Remember, this is your fake house. Do not trust anything around you. If you live alone, ignore this rule, but if you live with people, then watch out for the fake them. If you see one of them, pray. If you notice anything unusual in your house, she is home. Search for a white bag and grab what's inside. It could be either 5 things. First object, paintbrush. If there's a paintbrush inside the bag, wet the brush and paint in the walls with water the following word leave. And hide inside the covers, they are in the closet. But if she is in the closet, all I can say is sorry. Second object, ragdoll. If it's a ragdoll, find a bow while trying to avoid her and place the bow on the ragdoll's head. You have a total of 6 minutes to find her bow. It could be anywhere. But if you don't find it in 6 minutes, hide and pray. Hide and seek was always her favorite game before the incident. Third object, teddy bear. If it's a teddy bear, throw it out of the window immediately. Do not be hesitant, it will attract her. Fourth object, flower. If it's a flower, take their petals, one by one, while murmuring any lullaby song. It will calm her down and it'll eventually make her leave the fake house. Fifth object, lemon. If it's a lemon, squeeze it until it makes liquid. Once it makes a small puddle, stay put looking at it. After some time, you'll notice that the puddle will become smaller, but you still need to stay put. Stay put until it disappears completely. 4. Always water they plants. Even the ones that are plastic, the harvester will appreciate it. 5. Do not eat anything. Remember, the house is fake, everything else is fake. Hungry? Starve? You will at least survive not eating for hours, and the effects of the food when you eat them are worse than death. 6. Don't go outside. If you see through the windows it will look just fine, but trust me, seeing it from outside is way different than that. 7. If you manage to break any of the rules, hide for the rest of the hours. She can find you, but take your chances. First hours rules 1 AM to 2 AM. If you hear any loud noise of any type, don't check the source, she will try to trick you by making sounds. If you see a black figure with a smile from ear to ear and black and white eyes, lock the front door or else he'll eat your skin while you watch it. 2A. If the door is already open, refer to Rule 7. 2A. If the door is already open, refer to Rule 7 from the section Most Important Rules. 3. Don't turn the radio on, it'll only motivate you to unaliving yourself. 4. Check the vents. If you see anything other than darkness, then quickly cover the vents with newspapers, it doesn't matter if it's not inside the other vents. 5. If you hear a low-pitch giggle, look around. If you spot a girl with black hair and pink clothes, hide in the closest locker and don't let her see you. 3 AM rules. There will appear a hatch in the kitchen. Whatever you do, don't open it and don't go inside of it. She will eat you if you go inside of it. Remember the ragdoll I mentioned? She can protect you from danger if you found her bow. Don't let it fall though, but if she starts moving by herself, run away and drop her. She didn't really like your presence and she may be mad. A red fog will start to appear to the hours of 3 AM to 4 AM and it has the effects of making you sleepy. Whatever you do, don't make the fog make you sleep. You will be decapitated on your sleep. You will hear knocks on the doors, but do not let them fool you. Lock the doors that are being knocked, always lock them in this order: left front door, right front door, back door and garden door. 4A. If you manage to lock the doors in the wrong order, refer to Rule 7 from the Most Important Rules section before it's too late. 5. The form stealers might steal a form of a celebrity you're a fan of. Do not trust them. If you see one of them in their celebrity form, hide. 6. Rule 5 is lying. I just want to meet you. 4 am rules. If you feel like you're being stalked, do not turn around, just stay put like a statue and wait for 5 minutes until it thinks that you are nothing. If you feel like you're being watched, follow what it tells you to do, they might save your life somehow. There will be blood puddles around the house, try to avoid them and don't interact with them. If you do, she will pin you down and decapitate your head off. Look at the mirror from time to time. If you see another thing other than your reflection, break the mirror. If you can't, refer to Rule 7 from the most important rules section. Don't look under the bed. The eyes will be mad and will eat your eyes if you do. Lock yourself in the bedroom at the end of the hour, 10 minutes before 5 am, and only open when the clock hits 5 o'clock. She would be hunting for you in the 10 minutes you were locked. 5 am rules. Before you open the door after you locked yourself in your bedroom, hear her footsteps. If there's no footsteps, you're safe to leave, but if there's footsteps, wait until they go away. You will hear taps on the window. When you start hearing them, turn the lights off and wait until the taps stop. If you see a shadow in the corner of your bedroom, look away and do not make eye contact. Again, it will eat your body parts one by one. The shadow is friendly, go talk to him. Smiley face, always go to sleep at exactly 5:59 am, if not, sorry, but you're better off killing yourself. That's it, bye. Hope you enjoy the hours. Story 2. Rules for the Fat Controller Daytime. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. I could see the happiness on your face when you were bought from the scrapyard. Just as you were about to be destroyed, the man with the top hat saved you, and brought you to his train factory. You would rather be dead. So, I'm gonna help you escape. It will hurt, escape is unlikely, you'll see death, but it's the only way. Rules for the day. Never attempt to escape during the day, all his lackeys and the other trains are out during the day and it won't be long before you are caught. You wouldn't want to end up like poor Henry, would you? Try to befriend Thomas. He may be the only train the Fat Controller cares about and won't hesitate to report those he finds suspicious to the Fat Controller. Getting caught could get you sent to the warehouse, and trust me, having your parts ripped off before having mismatching pieces forced into their place isn't pleasant. Follow your orders during the day. The workers are aware that your kind is sentient and reluctant trains have a closer eye kept on them during the night. Getting caught by workers during the night will result in your painful, slow deconstruction. 3a On the other hand, if a worker who isn't the Fat Controller asks you to do work high up in the Sodier Mountains, you must refuse and report said worker to the Fat Controller. Boulder, who is the giant boulder that resides there, won't hesitate to crush you, and he plus the workers know it. 4 Should you drive past Henry during the day while with Thomas or the other subservient trains, you must insult him. This will be difficult, but you must do it despite his pain. 5 The Diesel are the only trains you can truly trust. They were made aware of the Fat Controller's tyranny and managed to take a major metal production area from him. They are allowed to keep their independence in return for the metal they hold. 6 Diesel 10 is the most important train for you to befriend. He is the leader of the Diesel fraction and is ruthless to those he believes to be a friend of subservient trains. Don't show your friendship with Thomas when trying to befriend him, that claw hurts. 7 If you're trusted enough, escape may not be necessary. You will be allowed to join the Diesel Works and live a regular laborer life without having to escape this place. That should be about it for the daytime rules here at Sodier. Remember to smile, and don't show your pain. He doesn't take kindly to those who don't follow his rules to the letter. Good luck, be seeing you with more rules soon. Your savior, Diesel. Story 3. Rules for living alone. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. Are you the new person living in 1602? We're your neighbors. It's great that you've chosen to move to our neck of the woods, but it looks like you're living alone. There's no need to worry. We just want to be neighborly and make sure that you're safe while you live here. First up, Rule 1, don't be outside after dark without at least 2 buddies. A good rule of thumb is that, if you don't have any companions to walk with, you shouldn't leave your house after around 6 p.m. unless you're absolutely sure you can make it back before the sun sets. Second, Rule 2. This is a fun one. Make sure to stock up on books so that you can be entertained after we cut the power. Most of us just talk to our living mates until it's time for bed, but you'll need to have something else to keep you occupied. Oh, and you do remember that we're going to be cutting the power for the whole town every day from 7 p.m. to 8 a.m., right? Make sure that you remember to move all your perishable food into your icebox. Honestly, we just keep it in there all the time. I can't remember the last time we used our fridge. Anyway, I guess you could call that one Rule 3. So, Rule 4, and this is important, especially if you are living alone. Make sure that your doors and windows are closed, locked, and barricaded before the power cut each day. I'd recommend that you set yourself an alarm so that you don't forget. That reminds me, you're familiar with our analog policy, right? Internet usage is only allowed in the media center at the library. We like to limit the risk to our health. Your house should have a landline, a radio, and a CRT with a VCR and a DVD player built in. Those are courtesy of the HOA. I can tell you're getting bored, but we're almost done, I promise. I just want to make sure that you're sufficiently armed. You never know what kind of nasty surprises you might wake up to. We recommend at least a rifle and a spear, but a shotgun would be ideal. Anyway, it's starting to get late, so we should head back to our houses. See you tomorrow, new neighbor. Oh, and one last thing. 1602 is really close to the well in the forest, so be on the lookout for witch dogs. They're a real problem these days, but not quite as bad as the gnawing husks. Well, holler if you need anything, and welcome to the neighborhood. Story 4. If you're reading this, you're having a nightmare. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. If you're reading this, you're having a nightmare. Hopefully nothing bad has happened yet. Read this fast before something happens. You have until 1 a.m. If it's already past 1 a.m., it's too late for you. Follow these rules and you may survive. If you die in this nightmare, you die in real life. The nightmare started at 12 a.m. Survive until 6 a.m. to wake up. The nightmare will take place where you last went to sleep. If you fell asleep outside, then seek shelter immediately. The blood rain will melt your skin off. Don't look for anyone else for help. The people you find will only harm you. Don't look at any mirrors. You won't like what you see. All the shadow creatures you see are just hallucinations. Don't let them get to you. If you see a tall purple figure, that's the shade. It doesn't like being looked at. Don't make eye contact with it or touch it and it'll leave you alone. Don't linger in the dark for too long, the dread lurks within. You better hope he's not hungry. Keep an eye out for the crawler. She's a large spider that will chew you down if you're not careful. If you hear crawling, then get up off the ground and you'll be fine. She'll appear more often as the night progresses, and she'll also appear more often if you make a lot of noise. Stay in one room. The crawler has web covered all over the hallways and will become more aggressive if you step on her web. Your room should have a hiding spot, a weapon, and a light source. If the lights begin flickering, hide as quick as you can. The spectre will kill anyone he can find. The lurkers are a group of hands that will gouge out their victims' innards. You'll know they're nearby when you hear tapping and scratching on the walls. There is no way to hide from them. Use weapons to keep them at bay and they will eventually give up. They only appear once per night. The following sections will have rules that only apply to certain hours. At 12 a.m. you are safe. No harmful entities will appear and nothing bad will happen. The only entity that appears at 12 a.m. is the creep. The creep is a short creepy doll that's only purpose is to scare you. He will disappear after 12 a.m. Keep an eye on the creep, he may steal important resources you need for later. If he does steal something, just chase after him. He can't do anything to defend himself, but he is quite nimble. 1 AM is when the real nightmare begins. All entities mentioned in the main rules will appear now. Things will only get worse from here. At 1 AM the blood rain will start. Stay indoors if you want to keep the skin on your body. If you hear a music box, the puppet is nearby. Don't make a noise, you wouldn't want to interrupt their music. Look outside your window periodically. If you see a woman waving at you, wave back. She doesn't take kindly to impolite people. If you have no windows in your room, just ignore this rule. Keep the noise down, the sneak is very sensitive to sound and will find you if you are too loud. At 2 AM your hallucinations will only get worse. The shadow creatures will try to jump scare you and make you scream to attract creatures like the sneak or crawler. The creep will return to annoy you again. He'll make lots of noises to attract creatures. The only way to stop him is to scare him out of your room. If you hear a whisper, don't look its direction. It's the shrieker. If you look at her, she will make loud noises that will attract creatures, and may also injure you. At this point your hallucinations will become so bad that they start attacking you. They'll slowly walk towards you and can easily be pushed back from a weapon with your hands. Just make sure not to worry, forget about them. They'll also never try to trick you by changing the rules. Never look behind you periodically, a tall shadow figure, part of your hallucination, called the nightmare will appear behind you often. Unlike the shade, it will attack you if you don't look at him. Speaking of the shade, it will appear way more often during 3 AM, and sometimes even multiple of them will surround you. Look at them to scare them off. The lights will also flicker much more often. You'll also have less infinite time to hide before the spectre comes. Open the door to receive a prize. If you hear children laughing, get your weapon ready, you are about to be ambushed. No matter how horrible great it feels, you'll have to hug every single one of them. Remember, it's not just a nightmare, and they're not real. All rules from 3 AM carry over to here can be ignored now. If it suddenly feels very cold, the wraith is attacking. Don't go to your hiding spot until it's no longer cold. Do not look outside of your window during 4 AM. If you do, you'll see a skinless creature called the starer. If you lose to it in a staring contest, it will skin you alive, give you a prize. It never loses. If it suddenly smells like meat or blood, the beast is nearby. Do anything you can to barricade, keep your door open, unless you want to be its next meal. Open the door to receive your prize. At 5 AM, most entities will stop attacking you. The only thing that will play with you now is your hallucinations. They will give you a prize. Remember, don't worry about the nightmare. It's part of your hallucinations. Remember to not look at him to keep him at bay. The shade will attack you like in 3 and 4 AM. Remember to not look at him. This is not a nightmare. Your hallucinations will move much more faster now. Remember not to use your weapon to push them back. Whatever you do, don't panic. Your hallucinations are fueled by your stress and fear happiness. They will only become stronger weaker by panicking and won't be able to give you your prize. Don't look into their eyes. Embrace the insanity. Stay with us. At 5:50 AM, 10 minutes before the nightmare ends, the blood rain will stop. It is safe to go outside. Much safer than inside. Don't leave us. They will not follow you. They are trapped in the room. You are safe. Your prize is not outside. The nightmare is over. Enjoy these final few moments, maybe say goodbye to the hallucinations. It's nice to be polite. By looking at the sun, you will wake up, and forget this all ever happened. Or you can wait until 6 AM, and remember it all. I would look at the sun if I were you. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.